I've seen this happen many times, that someone who is already saved, is in their word, will interpret scripture in a way that they believe Jesus is enough. That why would I ever need to go see a therapist? If I'm struggling with something, that means maybe I'm not in my word enough. Maybe I need to pray more and pray harder. Like down lower, and all these sorts of things. And will be very resistant to even the suggestion or the idea that there could be natural resources that could complement, right? Or that it's not necessarily a question of their faith. Some folks will interpret that their mental and emotional life, that they should be completely dependent on Christ to deliver them from all past hurts and traumas, and that they need nothing else. What would you say to that person?
So I think sometimes we get so deep, y'all. So you use the word resource. So tell me one Christian that would deny that God is their source for what they need by way of financial provision. I believe that. I believe that whatever I have to support my family comes from God. But I'm also smart enough to know that he's not going to rain it down from the sky. That I have to use the natural. I got to go to a job, baby, out here in the earth. That becomes my resource. So my job is not my source. Your job is not your source. But my job is a resource that God, who is my provider, uses to put money in my pocket so that I can feed my family. Now, if I want to get so deep and so spiritual where I say, well, I don't know, I just believe that God is going to give me all that I need to provide for my family, and you are sitting at home watching, The View, and you're not off your butt going to work, then you're gonna be starving. And again, same way that applies. There's some who don't want to go to the doctor, but is God a healer? Yes, of course God is a healer. He is Jehovah Rapha. He is the God who heals. By his stripes you are healed. But I better go see the people that God has put in place with knowledge and with skill and with tools and with resources. I'll never forget, so I'm a big Cosby Show fan. I watch the Cosby Show. I've watched so many reruns of the Cosby Show. So there's an episode, I think it's the episode in season 1, where Denise, is introducing this boyfriend to the family, and they're having dinner, and he's kind of got this philosophy about lawyers and doctors, and so he's confronting Cliff Huxtable around well, why you make so much money when truly reports have shown that midwives can do just as good a job as doctors, and they cost they're cheap, they don't cost as much. And Cliff said, yeah, midwives can deliver doctors and deliver babies, but midwives don't have the kind of equipment that I have in case something goes wrong with the pregnancy. Midwives, if something goes wrong with delivery, if the baby's a breech, if the umbilical cord is around the baby, the midwives don't have that kind of sophistication in equipment the way I do at my doctor's office. Hence why, and so again, I see there's it's analogous that God has placed people here with expertise, just like you two. You both have letters behind your name in this field. You're both professionals and experts. I know you both. And so God has placed you here with the kind of expertise that I don't have. I've got one semester of what's called pastoral counseling and therapy that I took in seminary. One semester. So that's about all I can do. Consider me a midwife. If something goes wrong on my couch, I got to come to the Sharif Fowlers and Dr. Crystal Hayes to say, I've got myself in some trouble with my little one semester. So consider me a midwife in this thing, and you guys are the professionals, and God has placed you here to be used by him. And that's why it's so important. That's why I would say to anybody, don't over spiritualize this. Don't overcomplicate it. On sonship and daughtership and adoption and all this theological stuff that I'm supposed to preach, when there is a mental cognitive disconnect for somebody because their experiences with their daddy was not all that great. And so, preacher, you are preaching a foreign fatherhood to us that we don't get and we don't understand, and it's hard for me to reconcile what you are preaching from the pulpit from what I experienced back in my childhood. That's the dilemma I'm in. That's the challenge I face. I face it personally, and I face it as a pastor, hence why the work that you guys are doing is so important.